And I just opened this shit up and they got bans. Is this like a scheduled ban? Do they have a scheduled set ban for every set when it comes out? I don't know. Anyway, that did not need to get banned. That was a cool card. It was like overused, yeah, whatever. But this is not a ridiculous card to exist. My God, that was stupid. It was just a good card. That's just a good card. This as well, I don't think needed to be banned. That was just a good card. Well, it was a two drop to bounce two things, and you had to bounce your own thing. They're good, but I don't think they're crazy, man. I do not think those needed. I do not think those need a ban at all. Neither of those need a ban at all. Monstrous Rage was a bit much. Monstrous Rage was kind of on the border of being too much because it gives it a permanent +1/+1 encounter and trample and an extra 2 damage that turn. I think Monstrous Rage was a fine ban. That was kind of crazy. Monstrous Rage is kind of crazy. I think these two are fine though. Hopeless Nightmare. Hopeless Nightmare was only a problem because of how often you could bounce your own things. I think it is too much because of how much you can bounce your own things. How many easy ways they made for you to bounce your own thing. I know there's that like one drop fairy that allows you to bounce that back. And I always ran into this. It was just Hopeless Nightmare, then the fairy, bounce it back, and then at that it's turn 2, you just drop the Hopeless Nightmare again. That was super easy. So yeah, the Hopeless Nightmare kind of I feel like needed a ban just because I really still feel just the card alone is not bad. The card alone is fine. It's just how easy it is to bounce things. Um, Heartfire Hero. Yeah, they put too much on this thing. I don't know. I also don't think it's that bad. It's just this while this exists, and just the amount of and just like the other two mice, the mouse that gives them double strike or trample, and then the 2 drop with haste. Is that a 2 drop? I think it's a 2 drop. This, along with those, I think they should have gotten rid of the 2 drop with haste instead. I don't know. They were both evenly just really powerful and overused, but I mean, like, that's the strat. It's gonna be overused. But like those two together, along with Monstrous Rage, and that other 3 drop red spirit thing that stops you from gaining life, it was just really powerful. I think Mono Black is still worse though. Corey Steelcutter, that was kind of crazy. Yeah, that was a bit much. Because you pretty much drop this and then just drop another thing and then you get it. And you keep creating more, so that was a bit too much. I think that was a bit too much with the strategy that was allowed. With the 0 drops. Not the 0 drops, but the constant 1 drops. Corey Steelcutter makes sense. This makes sense only because it's the everything revolved around it. I think this is no matter what revolves around inside of this, you're gonna have small red and blue and black 1 drops, so this is gonna be a problem either way. Return target non return target artifact or non-aura enchantment card graveyard to the battlefield. I don't think I ever saw anybody use this ever. Return target artifact or non-aura enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you still have to pay 4 to reanimate an artifact or enchantment, and it becomes a creature with +1 counter. That doesn't that doesn't sound bad at all. Maybe there's some way you could cheese this that I just don't know of. Maybe there's some way you could cheese this. That's why this is bad. But I don't think I ever even saw this played. It doesn't sound that bad. Okay, this in and of itself probably was just gonna be too much, just because of how easy it is to cheese once it gets out. This probably needed it just because of how hardcore and tight that mono red strat was. And Monstrous Rage also made it a problem. Monstrous Rage is just a problem. It's just too much for a 1 drop. To give it +1/+1 and trample as just like equipment on it, and then another 2 damage that turn is just too much for one. Like it's extra 3 damage and 1 damage stays, and it has trample. It's just too much. Just too much. If it didn't get the +2/+0, would have been fine. But that's just too much. Hopeless Nightmare is not even an OP card at all. It's just with how easy it is to bounce stuff back to your hand. It's become a problem because of those things. So honestly, if they would have gotten rid of like the fairy or something else, the one drop fairy that does this, I think that probably would have been a safe. That probably would have allowed this card to stay out. So that's unfortunate. But I do think the fairy's fine too. It's just them together is just too ridiculous of a combo. And it's also just the arena algorithm giving it to you every time because it knows that you want to do it. It knows you want to do it, so if it's decided you're gonna win, if it's decided you're gonna have a good hand and a good match, it's just gonna give that to you over and over and over again. So you end up seeing it so much. And then these cards is just sad. I don't think either of these needed to be banned. I think this was pretty fine. This was fine. This was fine. Really think this is fine. I mean, yeah, I don't get it. I think it's stupid that you could use alternate casting cost, like the that those big enchantment creatures with suspend. Is it suspend? Impending. Impending? Something like that. That you could like, 2 and 3 drop those and then still get this trigger is kind of crazy. Because I think if you spend 5 mana to cast a spell or more, then you draw a card. But the fact that you kind of cheese it with like smaller mana, and it wasn't even that much, so I still don't think it was. I just still don't think it was broken by any means. Don't think that card was broken by any means. I think it's silly that they did that. That's just kind of silly. Same thing with this thing. It was. When I saw it in a game, I saw it over and over and over again, and it was just kind of cool. I didn't really hate it. I don't think there was anything wrong with it really. I would agree. I wouldn't agree with that, but I just gonna put that out because I don't know what they're actually doing with that. Um, needed it, needed it, needed it. Yeah, I'd agree with about 50% of it. I'd half agree with this. I don't give a fuck about alchemy, dude. Okay. Okay.
Repeat.
You did not watch this on repeat.
I genuinely did for a time.
This is a goofy humor. I get it.
Yeah. You see why I get my humor from this?